Well, we're not done yet, as it turns out. Chat didn't like the Stackhouse offers, but wanted to see what's the deal with Allen Iverson. The only team that would apparently give you an offer is me, Steve Nash and Lionel Simmons, for Allen Iverson and Jerry Stackhouse. I'd consider it. I do love Steve Nash, but nobody wants Allen Iverson or can afford him. At least at the moment. So I imagine that sets in stone. No nuke from chat. I would imagine. AI is not on the untouchables list, no. McGrady is, but Iverson is not. All right, chat's going to move. Let's see what happens. Chat is in a spot of not being a significant amount of games over 500. See if that costs you or not. We're going to double check the extensions here, too. You got no one to worry about. Lionel Simmons is willing to come back. Lamont Murray isn't. Honestly, Simmons he's done. I'm going to let him go at the end of this year anyway. So no biggie. Raptors still looking good in the Eastern Conference. For chat, still fourth in the West, despite being just 4 games over 500. It's a good sign, though, if the West isn't that strong. That's a decent little setup. Chat is going to make the playoffs pretty comfortably here then. Found their form at the end of the season. Chris Webber wins another MVP award, this time for the Indiana Pacers. Rookie of the Year, Hedo Turkoglu for the Atlanta Hawks. Sixth Man of the Year, Rafer Alston in New Jersey. Shaq, once again, Defensive Player of the Year. Most Improved, Dirk Nowitzki in Detroit. Coach of the Year, Bernard Moon in Toronto, while you guys won Executive of the Year in Vancouver at 49 and 33. First team All-NBA, Tracy McGrady, Allen Iverson, Chris Webber, Dirk Nowitzki, and Shaquille O'Neal. Your all-defensive team is Shaq, Antoine, Jameson, Antonio McDyess, Jason Kidd, and T-Mac. And your all-rookie team, Hedo, Kenyon Martin, Stromile Swift, Marcus Fizer, and Darius Miles. Chat is the number 1 seed in the West. Streamer is the number 1 seed in the East. Is this the year that this ends? Is this the year that this ends? 2 top seeds. 2 top seeds. Let's take a look at the season stats here. First and foremost for you guys, a couple of banged up players, but your key players are healthy. For the first time in a while, mostly healthy. Stackhouse is still playable. So is Walker. For me, fully healthy outside of Burton. Fully healthy outside of Burton. So taking a look at what the lineups will be. It still plays a shooting guard instead of moving Lionel Simmons up, so I'm getting screwed where you guys are benefiting. That's unfortunate. But, I mean, it's down to Nash, Horn, and Leitner. Van Horn and Leitner. Like, those are the guys that are going to win it or lose it for me. That's it. Ceballos and Ostertag are playing well lately, but I don't care. For chat, Iverson, McGrady, Stackhouse, Walker, and Anderson. Of course, the bench depth, nothing too crazy still. But with Iverson and McGrady, anything's possible. Our opponents. First up, chat, the Utah Jazz team that you will be playing. It's Baron Davis and Jason Williams at point guard. Allen Houston at shooting guard. Brian Stith there as well. Brian Russell at forward. Power forward, Sean Kemp, an old pal. And Chris Mim at center. Definitely beatable. Definitely beatable. And for me, I'm going up against the Pistons, who I am well familiar with. Andre Miller. Reggie Lewis at shooting guard because Jimmy King, once again crowned. He is hurt. Forward, Robert Horry, but that's where it gets scary because power forward, Dirk Nowitzki. They lost Peja. I forgot to look around the league again. And Georgie at center. They're a little bit less scary than last year because no Peja to work with Dirk. Not bad. Not bad. So let's do it. Game number 1, Raptors and Pistons, is a win for the Raptors, 104-79 as Leitner and Van Horn dominate in the paint. It's a brand new strategy. Have Nash set up the big men, and it's looking okay. Christian Leitner, can you be my Amare Stoudemire? On the other side, Andre Miller had a decent game. So did Georgie, but not quite. Team white guy. Team white guy. Game 1. Vancouver wins 131-109. Iverson is back in the playoffs. T-Mac, the triple-double. Not a bad way to start in his return to the playoffs for Allen Iverson. Houston and Kemp. Kemp had a monster game, and it didn't matter. Game 2 for the Raptors and the Pistons is a win for the Raptors. 121-106. Christian Leitner with a dominant game. He and Van Horn both with doubles. Steve Nash puts up 31. And Team White Guy looking okay so far. Game 2 for Chat is a win. 133-103. Iverson and McGrady both, all three of the big three put up at least 30 points. Doubles for McGrady, Walker, and White. The Canna final may be alive. It might be. If we keep playing like this on both sides. Can the Raptors sweep the Pistons? Yes, they can. My Raptors off to round number 2. Strong games from Dirk and Andre Miller, but Nash and Leitner with too much. Van Horn, only 6 points, but 22 fucking rebounds. Holy. And the Toronto Raptors make quick work of Nowitzki and the Pistons. Team White Guy doing well. And Lionel Simmons. Can Chat complete their sweep? Yes, they can. Chat is moving on to round number 2. Russell, Houston, and company, they tried. 42 points, 11 assists from AI, a double from McGrady. Allen Iverson is pissed. AI is pissed. And we're only in the year 2001, but AI is taking over early. Averaged 41.7 points and 10 assists in 3 games. Jesus. McGrady also averaging a double. That is one hell of a stat line. One hell of a stat line. So we are both going to round number 2. Chat will be playing the Sacramento Kings, while I will be playing the Atlanta Hawks. It'll be Indiana and Philly on the other side, Golden State and Denver. So Weber and Shaq are both still in the playoffs, which is bad news for both of us. So, let's take a look at Chat's opponent, the Sacramento Kings, with Stephon Marbury at point guard, who once upon a time you were going to take until the Iverson trade popped up. At guard, Eddie Jones and Kerry Kittles. Michael Redd as well. Forward, Sean Elliott and James Posey. Power forward, Alan Henderson, Michael Smith. Centers, Brad Miller and Rick Smits. They're not bad. You are better, though. My opposition, the Atlanta Hawks, with an injured Stevie Franchise. Shooting guard, Steve Smith. Good morning, USA. Hito at forward. Can't escape him. Power forwards, Antoine Jameson, and I can't escape Peja Stojakovic. And at center, Predrag Drobnjak. Okay, I mean, Jameson, Stojakovic, Steve Smith, that's not bad at all. Not bad. All right, who has game number 1 here? You guys do. All right, game 1 of the semifinal goes to the Vancouver Grizzlies. 118-94. Iverson does it again. 43 points. And a double-double for Iverson, McGrady, and Stackhouse. Anderson as well with 12 rebounds. Jesus, fuck. Marbury tried his best, but was no match. Game 1, Raptors and Hawks. And I become the first one of us to lose a game in the playoffs. Hawks win 133-102. Nash fouled out. That didn't help. That didn't help. Yeah, Jameson, Stojakovic, Turkoglu all had good games. Can't have Steve Nash fouling out, that's for sure. Game 2 for Chat is a win. 110-93. Not a 40-point performance from Iverson, but Tracy McGrady drops a triple. 19 rebounds for T-Mac for the second game in a row. And the Grizzlies are 2 wins away from making it to their first Western Conference final. Meanwhile, the Raptors tie up their series against Atlanta, winning game 2, 120-96. Big game for Leitner, a double for Van Horn, who only had 11 points, but that wasn't a particularly pretty game for us, but it was more than enough. More than enough in game number 2. Chat looking to step through to a 3-0 lead, but Sacramento wins by 1 point. 36 for Marbury. They had a 38-point fourth quarter to come back and win that game. So a bit of a slip up for the boys there. McGrady, just 18 minutes for Tracy McGrady. Just 18 minutes for Tracy McGrady. Who will be out for the next 2 to 4 weeks with a pulled lower back muscle. The luck you guys have had. Or lack thereof. That is a big presence to lose. So the lineup now is Iverson, Stackhouse, Hawkins, Walker, and Anderson. Damn. We'll see if Joaquin Hawkins can step up. We'll see. I mean, Major, in fairness, I'm doing the same thing, and I'm not having as bad of injury luck. I've had some injuries, but not nearly as bad. Game 3, Raptors-Hawks. Goes to the Raptors 124-101. Turkoglu, Peja, good games, but Steve Nash, Christian Leitner, and Keith Van Horn take over Team White Boy on top. Game number 4 for Chat is a win for Sacramento, while the Indiana Pacers and Chris Webber have punched their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals. Best case scenario for you guys is me having to run into Weber immediately. However, worst case scenario, Sacramento has tied the series after winning by 1 point for the second game in a row. That's insane. Iverson drops 41. Birdman with the best game of his career, 21 and 25. And it wasn't enough. That's crazy. Speaking of crazy. Sweet, beautiful apple. Parade, my friend. How did the stream go? I hope it was phenomenal. Still on the college football side of things as well. Please tell me the Owls actually gave a hoot and you guys were able to win. Something, anything. So the scenario here. Chat's Grizzlies were up 2-0 against Sacramento. Tracy McGrady stricken down with injury. My Raptors up 2-1 on Atlanta. Stream is awesome. Gameplay mediocre. Fair enough. If you guys haven't followed Baffle, do it. Do it now. Game number 4 for my Raptors is a loss. So Atlanta has tied that series as well. They win 117-109. Big game for Stojakovic. Steve Nash with a double. Leitner with a double. Van Horn did foul out. Missed opportunity for my team there. So we are both in a similar spot. Literally an identical spot. Number 1 seed. 2-2 split. Racing to see who can win a championship first in the Jordan era. We're closing in on the Bryant era. Unless you want to call it something different. I think it's the LeBron era, technically, is what they call it. But regardless. Game 5. Major, it sure was. This was, what, fucking Atreyu becoming the Bull? It was like 2007, 8, 9, around there. Game 5 for Chat is a win, while the Denver Nuggets advance to the final. So, scenario here. Chat makes it to the Western Final. You get to deal with Shaquille O'Neal. I make it to the East Final. I get to deal with Chris Webber, who's basically as good as Shaq in this timeline. But Chat does get the win in Game 5, 96-88, led by Jerry Stackhouse. Great games for Jahidi White and Chris Anderson. The battle of the boards there, shutting down Sacramento. Can my Raptors take a 3-2 series lead? No, they cannot. Toronto's in trouble. Leitner fouled out. If Lionel Simmons is leading the way, we're in trouble. Big trouble in Toronto. For the moment, can Chat advance to their first conference finals? No, they cannot. Sacramento has forced Game 7, 118-108 in Game 6 behind a double from Stephon Marbury. Iverson did his damnedest, but the lack of depth scoring struck. Anderson took 1 shot and missed it. He had 6 rebounds. He also fouled out in 18 minutes. 4 players fouled out for you guys in that game. Well, desperate times calls for desperate measures for both of us. For you guys, I mean, again, it's a Game 7. You might as well just look to play certain people like Iverson fucking 44 minutes a night. You might as well. It's Iverson, Stackhouse, Conley, Walker, and Anderson. And for me, I'm doing the same damn thing with my back against the wall. 45 minutes of Steve Nash. I really wish it wasn't playing Anthony Knox. But Simmons, Van Horn, Leitner, no choice but to just get these guys out there as much as possible. No choice. Will the Raptors be eliminated by the Hawks? Or will there be a Game 7 back on home court? I mean, Knox has been okay, but I still wish he wasn't the guy. The Raptors are not dead yet. 122-95. Both 1 seeds are in a Game 7 awaiting the 3 seed in the conference final. Insane. Raiders, what's up, by the way? Great game for Peja. Drobnak the double. But Van Horn, Leitner, and Nash stepped up. What I needed. So for chat, this is it. Win, and it's a date with Shaq in the conference final. T-Mac is still out. What's going to happen? It is Game 7. Western Conference semifinals. The number 1 seed, Vancouver Grizzlies, trying to survive the injury to Tracy McGrady. The Kings have taken a lead entering the 4th. Is it too little too late for Vancouver? They're fighting back. But the Sacramento Kings are going to the Western Conference Finals. Heartbreak again in Vancouver. Iverson does everything he could. Stackhouse as well. But without Tracy McGrady, the lack of depth was too obvious. If anybody of the big 3 goes down, and yeah, Walker, Conley, and White all fouled out. Anderson as well, 4 foul outs. Iverson almost went too. I mean, you guys definitely had at least a conference finals appearance if it wasn't for the T-Mac injury. Easily. Easily. It's just that lack of depth. I mean, it is very Vancouver. I'll give him that. I will give him that. One more game for my Raptors. Can we survive a scare and secure a showdown with Chris Webber and company? Or is this over with? This would be very disappointing due to no injuries. The Toronto Raptors are going back to the Eastern Conference Finals. A chance at redemption after being swept last year by the Hornets. The Raptors are back. And no Hornets to worry about this time. Nash with a big game. Knox fouled out. Dude, Keith Van Horn played every single second of that game. Every second of that game. Out of pure desperation. I mean, again, we set up both teams to have just 6 players for bench depth to just try to run it. I can obviously let some other people play now to start the next series to not burn them out as much. But we had no choice. We had no choice. So the Raptors are still alive. At least for now. Leitner, Nash, and Van Horn. Team White Boy. Leitner, of course, a mid-season acquisition. We take on the Indiana Pacers, who scare the hell out of me. Point guards, Tyronn Lue and Keon Dooling. Penny Hardaway is currently injured, so they have former player of mine, Bob Sura. At forward, Michael Finley. Power forward, Chris Webber. And center, Michael Doliak. I mean, it's Webber and Finley. With Penny out, it's especially Chris Webber. Can my boys stop Chris Webber, is the question. And on the other side, Denver and Sacramento. Denver led by Shaquille O'Neal, Michael Williams, and Chris Jackson. And an injured Dikembe Mutombo, who's out. And, of course, we know what Sacramento looks like. Second year in a row, I'm in the driver's seat with the best overall team. It didn't mean anything last year, though. I lost to star power with the Charlotte Hornets. Will I lose to star power again? Game 1 goes to the Raptors, 109 to 103. Christian Laettner, a big game. Doubles for Simmons and Van Horn. Game 1 to Toronto. Finley didn't have that good of a game. Sura tried to make up for it. It didn't matter. Game number 2 goes to Toronto, 103 to 87. Doubles for Laettner, Nash, Van Horn, and Simmons. Finally, Simmons is playing more. We defend home court. We know, we've seen how likely we are to lose the next 2 games. But at least we have wins in the conference finals this year. Game 3 is a win for the Raptors. 134 to 109, despite 43 points from Chris Webber. Steve Nash drops 40. Laettner, Van Horn, Team White Boy. Damn. Wow. In game 4, Indiana stays alive for now. 113 to 105. Chris Webber, another big game. Van Horn fouled out. Knox fouled out. Game 5. The Pacers are still alive. 2 straight wins for Indiana. 110 to 78. Little bit of trouble. Little bit of trouble. Game 6 is a Pacers win. 1 win away from reverse sweeping the Raptors. Christian Laettner is out with a concussion. That explains the struggle. So again, chat can never say, we're exclusively getting fucked. No, the fuck you are. The fuck you are. Having to rely on Potapenko. Fuck. Game 7. Can we avoid the reverse sweep to punch our ticket to the NBA final against Sacramento, who downed Shaq and the Nuggets? Is that Laettner injury going to cost us? Game 7 on our home court. But will it matter? Can the Raptors punch their ticket to the final? Pacers fighting back in a big-time way. Oh, this game is too close for comfort. Raptors go on a run. Can the Raptors survive it? The Toronto Raptors are going to the NBA final. Holy shit, we survive a hell of a scare despite missing Christian Laettner as Nash, Van Horn, Simmons, and Brandon step up. They even got Penny back. Oh my God, were they? They ended up missing Chris Webber. Oh my God, it's a beautiful day. Woo. A great equalizer. Chris Webber went down with a broken hand. And the Raptors go to the finals to play Sacramento. What are the injury sliders? Default. God, no Christian Laettner. No Willie Burton. to hurt too much? Well, I'm not changing it in the middle of a challenge. Especially if it's affecting everybody. God, do I up the depth? I mean, getting Ceballos in more isn't the worst idea. It only drops Nash down by a minute. Van Horn by 3. Honestly, like, that doesn't change with Nash. It just keeps a bit of a revolving door. Gets Ostertag some time at center. I think I have no choice because of that major injury, just to rotate people around. As long as Stevie's still playing 40 minutes a night, we're okay. I do wish Van Horn was playing a little bit more, but it's okay. I'm going to try it. I got no choice. The Sacramento Kings. Standing in my way. Marbury. Elliott, Eddie Jones, Kerry Kittles. Rick Smits is out. Game number 1 of the 2001 NBA Final goes to the Kings, 104-89. Nash only played 34 minutes. Van Horn was out there quite a bit. I got to shorten the bench, I think. I got to make sure certain players are out there. I mean, in fairness, they have an even more expanded bench than I do. Like, Knox went 1 for 8. Murray didn't do much. The fact I can't get Knox out of there is fucking brutal, but it's my fault. I should have gotten an actual shooting guard. It's just the way the coach runs the team. Honestly, back down to 7. Just Van Horn and Nash. They got to carry. They got to carry. Game number 2 is a win for Sacramento. Oh, without Christian Laettner, man, it's just not the same. It's just not the same. 111-106. It's just not the same. Wouldn't be the first time one of our teams got to the finals and fell short. Fuck, man. I don't think there's anything I can really do. If I go 6 minutes, Knox plays the full fucking game. But honestly, just it's what we're going to do. It's what we're going to do. Just fuck it. Keep the stars out there as much as possible. It's all we can do. Game number 3 is a win for the Raptors. I just gotta run Steve Nash into the ground. Marbury drops 33, but Terrell Brandon steps up. Keith Horn, Steve Nash, Simmons with doubles, Ostertag 15 rebounds. Whew. Goodness. Goodness. I'm just going to let chat stay at each other's throats because I can hopefully win this. Potapenko was the starter. It put in, the last time I went to the thing, I put in Ostertag. Potapenko isn't hurt either, so. Game 4. It's a win for the Raptors. Come on. We're not done. Team White Boy lives. Team White Boy is alive. Steve Nash and Van Horn with doubles. Team White Boy is alive. Ostertag stepping up. Game 5. God, I'm scared. Simmons isn't 100%. Of course, Leitner is just outright done. Sacramento still just without Smits. Oh God, game number 5 for this team is a win for the Kings. 115 to 110. Van Horn and Nash did their best. Ostertag, 23 rebounds. But Knox is a complete fucking liability, and my coach won't switch him. Marbury and Elliott, good games. Fuck. We're down to one more. We got to win 2 in a row without Leitner. And with a coach who, and that's part of the fucking RNG of it, with a coach who will not play Simmons at shooting guard and move Lamont Murray to forward, or vice versa. Honestly, what fucking choice do I have? I mean, 6 is fine. Can I do 5? There you go. Play everybody 48 minutes. Fuck, man. Fuck. Here we go. Game 6. Raptors need to win. For the Sacramento Kings. You go to 8? Nah. Whatever it takes to keep Nash and Van Horn out there the whole game. Game 6 in Sacramento. Will the Kings win it all? Had Christian Leitner not been hurt, it may have been a different story. The Sacramento Kings win in 6 games. The era continues. Chat dodges the bullet. As Stephon Marbury, who you could have had, wins MVP. And it is the first loss in the eras for 2K26 in the finals. If Christian Leitner doesn't get hurt, the only team that was stopping me was you guys if T-Mac doesn't get hurt. Fucking Leitner injury, man. Goddamn. He's my leading scorer. Honestly, it was a combination of the Leitner injury and my fucking coach. But again, it's on me. I should have gotten a shooting guard. I should have gotten a proper shooting guard. Yeah, in the finals, Van Horn and Nash did what they could. But yeah, Knox, 9 points a game, 32 minutes a night. GG's. We continue on. We continue on. So close, man. So close. Sacramento gets it done. Sacramento gets it done. God, that was so close, dude. That was my best chance. That was my best chance, too. I don't think I can pull off another team like this. Can I reject Karl Malone making it into the Hall of Fame? No, I can't. Fuck. So close, man. So close. G League is now a thing. Defensive key violation. A lot of rule changes this year. And chat, there it is. The Vancouver Grizzlies are now the Memphis Grizzlies. Canada is over. There's only one team left in Canada. And it's me, Austin. Stay in Vancouver? Why? Why would I let you do that? You haven't been nice to me. You haven't been nice to me. You haven't been nice to me. Let us stay. Why would I do that? Chad hasn't been very nice to me. We get to vote. Do you? Who said that's a democracy? Who says you get to vote? This is America, baby. Votes don't fucking matter. Fuck you. Coco with the gifted sub.
Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I didn't even get to tell you to keep your cool unis. I missed it. It's fine. Fine. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm not being nice. Fuck you. I had to deal with a fucking year of, oh, we swept you, streamer, lol. And now you expect me to be nice to you? That is quite presumptuous on your part. And I can show you this kindness, and if you win the next 5 arrows, do you think there's any kindness coming my way? Come on now, we both know that answer. But it is Coco, so Vancouver lives. Vancouver lives. Congratulations. Vancouver lives. Vancouver lives. So the draft lottery for this year. My Raptors are up there because of Cleveland, but I don't remember what picks are attached. So we're just going to skip this. I don't think I keep this. And I do not. So I have the Cavaliers pick next year. So this year, Chat has the 25th pick, and I do not have a pick. But I do have Sid. Sweet, beautiful Sid. Thank you very much for the raid, my friend. How did the stream go? Was it still a lot of GTA? It was, at least at the end. There you go. So Chad has the 25th pick. I do not have a pick in this draft. So let's see what happens. Now, I know, chat, there was the conversation. I've seen people saying, nuke, nuke, nuke. Let's just fucking explore it and then have you vote on it, because we know that's the direction that this is going, right? So if you were to trade Jerry Stackhouse, Ryder and Williams, you'd have to give up an 0-2. 24-year-old Sharif Abdur-Rahim, if you give up the 25th pick as well. Juwan Howard and an 0-3 unprotected first from Washington. Lorenzen Wright and P.J. Brown. Steve Smith, Tracy Edwards. Chucky Atkins, Eric Dampier. Sean Kemp. Michael Redd and an unprotected 0-2 first from Sacramento. Donnell Marshall, Jim Jackson, but you'd have to give up a first. Rodney Rogers, nah. Jackson. Penny at 29. Georgie and an 0-2 first from the Pistons. Albert Chaney. Nick Van Exel and Austin Crozier. Jalen Rose and Nazir Muhammad. Padgett and Stoudemire, or Lionel Simmons in the first, which is from my team. So, that is theoretically what you could get for Jerry Stackhouse. Antoine Walker I've seen mentioned a lot as well, so just to show you, an 0-2 first rounder from Philly. P.J. Brown, Tracy Edwards, Dampier and Coleman. An 0-2 from Sacramento. Jerome Moiso. Strickland and Travis Knight. Austin Crozier in a second. So again, these were not offers. This is a theoretical nuke. So, you've seen what Stackhouse and Walker could get, which are the two most talked about dudes. Obviously, potentially Iverson, McGrady, anybody else on the team. Draft picks as well. We'll look at what the 25th would get, and then we'll throw it to a vote. It is going to be pretty similar. 25th and Walker for Conley and an 0-5 first. So, I mean, you get the general idea of what you'd be able to get for some of those key players. You get the idea. An unprotected 0-3 first from Sacramento and an 0-2, so in theory it could be their 0-3 and 0-4. So you have the general idea of what you could get. The big question is, what is your approach going to be moving forward? We both really have to think about our approaches moving forward. So, first things first, It's the nuke vote. You might have to refresh the stream to get it to pop up in chat. Are you using your one tactical nuke, which allows you to use the trade finder to either blow up your team or try to better it? Otherwise, we can only make deals, of course, that are offered to us through the trade block throughout the course of a season. Will chat use the nuke, or will we see what the draft has in store for us first? A tie means a no vote, for the record. Why is T-Mac's salary 0? He's got a deal coming up, and you got the option to sign. It's just how it displays the information. So again, if it ends in a tie, that is as good as a no vote. We need an outright majority for the nuke. Will chat use their nuclear option to try and shake up the core? And the answer is yes. Chat nuke inbound to try and shake things up a little bit. So, first things first, theoretically, you can't even trade Tracy McGrady. Nobody wants Allen Iverson either. So those two are staying. So in theory, the first guy you could actually trade is Jerry Stackhouse. If you give up pick 25, you could get Sharif Abdur-Rahim. But there was also this deal here from the Wizards that a lot of people seem to like, which was Juwan Howard and Washington's unprotected 03 pick, a.k.a. the LeBron, Melo, D-Wade draft. So the question is this the deal for Stackhouse? Of course, we looked through it before. That really is the best deal. Howard could be flipped. You don't even have to necessarily keep him. The benefit could be that unprotected 03 pick, you know? But this is happening one way or another. For the people that voted no, now you got to try to lead the others to making the best deals possible to minimize the damage if you disagree with the nuke. That's the scenario of it. So. Oh, Nichols, people, this is the one series a year where people get riled up, and it's kind of the one series a year where I kind of have to allow the toxicity because, you know, you guys not being on the same page benefits me a ton. So it's really the only time where I'm like, all right, you know, calm down, but, you know. So again, Stackhouse, if you're using the nuke, which you said yes, Stackhouse is the first guy that can go. Realistically, you probably don't want to do this trade for Isaiah Ryder and Shammond Williams. There is that trade for Abdur-Rahim, but you'd also have to give up the 25th this year, which you could use in a different deal. There is the Juwan Howard and the unprotected 03 first. Outside of that, I mean, unless you wanted a pair of aging shooting guards, I mean, there's Michael Redd and an 0-2 first from Sacramento, who just won the NBA title. Like, realistically, again, you got to try to minimize, if you didn't want the nuke, you got to try to minimize the damage. The best deal is that Juwan Howard deal. It is the best deal. And hopefully it will allow you to flip him. So that looks like the play. That looks like the play. All right. Howard and then flip him. Okay. So Jerry Stackhouse for Juwan Howard and a first-round pick in 2003, unprotected, from the Washington Wizards. That is going to be a done deal. Stackhouse, your first ever pick, is gone. From there, Juwan Howard can be flipped. Here's what for. Jerome Williams and an 0-2 first rounder unprotected from Philly. Sheldon Webb and Will Rogers, Gary Trent, Oscar Sharp, Marcus Fizer and Kenny Blackman. I mean, it depends on what you guys are looking to do. If you're looking for depth, these are depth offers. Lorenzen Wright. Point worse, 3 years younger. Got to add a second rounder to do it. Chucky Atkins, Derek Coleman, not really worth it. Sean Kemp, but you'd also have to give up a first. 2 first-round picks in 2002 from Sacramento, both unprotected. Claude James, Christian Larson. Could be attached this year's first to Howard. Yes. Yes, you could. Although an 05 first gets you that. Stephen Doherty, Marco Jaric, Russell Gallagher and Moiso, Childress and Cardinal. Pistons offering an 03 protected and Anthony Parker. I mean, Sacramento's good right now, but one of those picks isn't theirs. I can find out which one it is. Williamson and Burton, Wesley and Stoudemire, but they're both point guards. Ben Wallace and Vladimir Stepania, but you have to give up an 0-2 first. Okay. So, I mean, you get the general idea here. If you were to pair Juwan Howard with that first, Trenton Sharp, Fizer and Blackman, Lorenzen Wright and P.J. Brown, but they're both centers. Chucky Atkins, but you already have AI. Chapman and Primoz Brzic. Sean Kemp. Michael Redd in the first. Jeff McInnes and Shannon Anderson for point guard and shooting guard. Russell Gallagher, Jerome Moiso, Chris Jackson, Brian Cardinal, Anthony Parker, Jay Sean Morris, David Wesley, and Damon Stoudemire. Ben Wallace and Vic Tatum, but an extra first. Kemp was 31. So to answer the question about those 2 second-round picks for Howard, you don't even think you're going to make it to 03? I mean, there's a good chance I'm not going to win, man. I think Leitner's deal is up or someone's deal is up. These 2 first-rounders, Clippers and Kings. So one of those second-rounders does belong to the Clippers. If you were to move Juwan Howard for those 2 picks. The Clippers this year have the 5th overall pick. They have the 5th overall. So this would be 3 first-round picks, including 1 in 2003 for Jerry Stackhouse. By the end of it, it's 3 first-round picks. Anybody opposed? That means in total, it was 3 first-round picks for Jerry Stackhouse. Anybody arguing against? It is a big deal. Okay. Juwan Howard to Sacramento for 2 firsts. Let's see what else we can do. Again, nobody wants McGrady, even if you tried. Nobody can afford AI. Chris Anderson. I know you guys like him. Nobody wants to take him right now anyway, so he's staying. Antoine Walker will be able to fetch you something. A 2002 first-round pick from Philadelphia. Will Rogers, a 30-year-old point guard. We're 1 game away from eliminating Sack because of the T-Mac injury. That is true. But Chad has made their choice. Like I said, it's about minimizing the damage from here. P.J. Brown in the second. Edwards and Smith. Dampier and Coleman. Chris Mim, Larry Stewart. Ethan Thomas, Tyron Daniels. Ronald Higgins, a 29-year-old point guard. Doherty and Jaric. So Walker can get a younger power forward who's about the same, but it frees up cap space. Coco, I already used mine too. Childress, a shooting guard. Sean Morris in the second. Strickland and Knight. Crozier in a second. Corliss Williamson, Greg Burton, but you'd have to use an 03 first. Muhammad and Whitney. Damon Stoudemire. And, of course, that's from the Raptors, which is a.k.a. not happening. So if you did want to let go of Antoine Walker to Philadelphia, I mean, or Moiso, who was on the rookie team, Philadelphia offering an unprotected 0-2 first. The other better deal really was Jerome Moiso, just to get a different, younger power forward who might pan out. What do you guys think? Let's take the pick in the cap space. Any disagreements about Walker out for this first rounder? Moiso stat line. I can check. So Jerome Moiso. I mean, he was off the bench last year, 5 points a game, 6 rebounds. He's a good rebounder. Was a rookie last year, 7th overall pick. He was actually second all-rookie team this past year. What do you guys think? Keep Antoine Walker, trade him for Moiso, trade him for that first-round pick from Philadelphia. Keep Walker. What's the deal here? What is the deal? Keep him? Anybody going to dissent with that, or is Antoine Walker staying? We got another vote for Moiso. A vote for Moiso. All right, so Walker, Moiso trade, Sixers trade, no trade. That is where the poll is going. What is the word with Antoine Walker? Is he sticking around? Is he sticking around? It looks like it. We'll see if a different deal pops up once we're done with everything else, but looks like it is going to be a no deal on Antoine Walker. We'll check the picks, don't worry. It's better to start with the players first because it can attach picks to them. Yeah, it looks like a no deal. Okay. So David Vaughn can't get anything. Shahidi White can't get anything. Nor can Tony Delk, apparently. Pat Garrity has no offers. Hawkins, no offers. Well, we're about to find out for picks then, aren't we? We are about to find out for picks. So that 25th overall pick this year on its own, well, mostly. Oh, I know they have zero salary. It's still worth checking to show people that are like, why didn't you try to trade that guy? Some people are visual learners. 05 first from the Wizards, unprotected. An 03 lottery protected pick from the Celtics, so it could become an 04, of course. Tony Smith is a veteran shooting guard. Larry Stewart is a veteran power forward. Well, top 3 protected pick from Denver for the 03 draft. So it definitely looks like you could land like an 03, 04 pick if you trade your 25th in this draft. At least try to get another dart for the 2003. That's if you trade this on its own. If you were to pair it even with 2 seconds, Wizards again, 05 first, Celtics, same thing. Yeah, the 2 seconds aren't really going to change much. Yeah, Nuggets offering the same deal. Timberwolves offering a very similar deal. That one's lottery protected for 03. So, what do you think then? Do you deal the 25th pick in this year's draft? You can get an 05 unprotected. Couple lottery protected first rounders in the 03. Top 3 for the Nuggets. What are you guys thinking? And I mean, even if you were like pair up, like the 2002s all together, Webb and Rogers, Trent and Sharp, Iser and Blackman, Danielle Marshall and Jim Jackson. I mean, they want 4 first-round picks in total for that, though. But there would be some depth for you. If fairness, you'd actually have space for both of those two, but it's 4 first-round picks. Claude James and Larson, Jeff McInnes, Ronald Higgins, Swap and Stephen Doherty, Kurt Thomas and Dooling, Williamson and Greg Burton, Padgett and Stoudemire. That's some depth there as well. Ben Wallace and Victor Tatum. What do you guys think? Just trade one first, trade a bunch of firsts. What do you think? What do you think? Warriors says trade the 4 firsts, 4 late firsts for 280 overalls is a good deal. Keep the picks built through the drafts. I mean, it's your 25th overall pick this year and 3 first-rounders next year for Marshall and Jackson that people like the looks of, apparently. All right, we'll throw it to a vote. Are you guys keeping your picks? Or the New York trade? That is the question. Are you going to take Marshall and Jim Jackson from New York? Or are you tantalized by the picks? Can we sign Lil Bow Wow's character from Like Mike? No, but you can sign the main character from the horrific sequel. From the absolutely horrific sequel. Well, it is a close vote, but as it stands, this deal is going through with New York. So, I mean, you acquired a bunch of picks involving Stackhouse. You did add a little bit for the 03 drafts. Now looking to have Donyell Marshall and Jim Jackson to provide some starting lineup depth. And this deal is going through. 3 first-rounders in 2002, Clippers, Kings, and your own, plus your own first-round pick this year, 25th overall, for Donyell Marshall and Jim Jackson. That is a done deal with New York. So chat now at point guard has Allen Iverson, shooting guard Tracy McGrady, forward Jim Jackson, power forward Donyell Marshall and Antoine Walker, and center Chris Anderson. And of course now in terms of picks, you have a couple seconds this year, no first rounder next year, but you do have the Wizards first rounder in 2003. You also have the Pacers first rounder in 04. And there is still a free agent to target. For the record, there still is no trade for T-Mac or Iverson. Cannot flip Marshall or Jackson. Chris Anderson, still no offers for him. In theory, if you wanted to flip Walker to shed the money, again, Philly was offering a 2002 first-round pick. Eric Dampier was out there at center, but you have Anderson. Knicks were offering an 0-2 first-rounder that's lottery protected. So, I mean, you could keep Walker for the depth or flip him and see what else you can get with whatever you get for him. So, I mean, that's kind of the question about Antoine Walker and what's going to happen there. Could even get Damon Stoudemire. So that's kind of the question. I think Walker is the last guy that might be able to go. So we'll throw it to another vote because it's a nuke. Will you trade him or will you keep him? Final decision on Antoine Walker. And as far as I know, everybody else was staying. Unless it was picks. So Walker is the final decision that needs to be made. That is the question. Does Antoine Walker stay, or do you move him out for the cap space? He makes $4.15 million against the cap. You did just get Donyell Marshall for the same spot. Of course, you are going to have contracts to re-sign, like Tracy McGrady. So, seeing trade Walker for Moiso. I mean, the Walker deal is happening at this point. That is confirmed. So, the best offers. It was the 76ers 0-2 first-round pick. If it wasn't that, like Oscar Sharp at center, but he'd cut off Anderson. Kenny Blackman at shooting guard, maybe. PJ would cut down. Dampier would cut Anderson. I mean, Russell and Stewart for some depth, but they're expensive. The Knicks were offering a lottery-protected 0-2 that could become an 0-3. Ronald Higgins is a backup point guard, potentially, if people wanted that one on the deal. But there was also the deal with New Jersey for Jerome Moiso. Keep the power forward depth, shave $2 million nearly off the cap. Childress has a 77. Morris at a 76. Austin Crozier, a little bit older of a power forward. Damon Stoudemire from Portland. So yeah, pretty much comes down to Philadelphia, New York, or New Jersey, I would say. Poll is up. Poll is up. What deal is it going to be for Antoine Walker? What deal is it going to be? Is it going to be Philadelphia in the 0-2 first? Was it going to be Jerome Moiso from the New Jersey Nets? Or was it going to be the 0-2 lottery-protected pick for New York that could become an unprotected 0-3 pick? That is the question. That is the question. And chat is deciding between New York and New Jersey. Will it be the player in Moiso or the pick from New York? It is a close vote. It is a close vote, but chat tantalized by the 0-3 drafts. Antoine Walker heading to New York for an 0-2 lottery-protected first. Meaning if the Knicks make the playoffs, that pick is yours. If they don't, you get their 0-3. But Walker is out. Another trade with the Knicks. And that is pretty much all you can do unless you were to look to move the next couple of first rounders. Like even if we look at the second rounders for this year, it's just swaps for other second round picks. Nothing crazy. Yeah. All of that, and even if we do another second, it's still nothing but seconds. So, all right, from the looks of it, the chat nuke is done, unless you want to try to move a future first or whatever. Can't even move the Knicks pick at this point. If you were to look at like 04, 05, I mean like Shamond Williams, one pick's not getting you a ton. One pick is not really getting you a ton. Shandon Anderson. Moiso, there's still an offer there. Be another future first. That one's top 3 protected in the 0-3 draft. Same for the Pistons. Unprotected 0-5. So, from the looks of it, chat, that's about it. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I think that's about the best you can do. Even if I add like all the seconds. I mean, it's only 3 seconds at once, and it's, yeah. Willing to sacrifice an 0-4 first for Moiso, huh? Probably want it to be your own instead of the Pacers, I would guess. Oh, your own 0-4 first. How did we sweep again last year? Because I got incredibly fucking unlucky. It was insane. I pretty much have to get incredibly unlucky to lose to you guys with the way that you've managed teams. 0-4 first rounder of your own and an 0-3 second for Moiso from the Nets. Any disagreement? Or do you want one Jerome Moiso? That is the question. That is the question. Imagine a real team run like this. It'd be a fucking disaster. Looks like it's the popular vote. All right. It's split enough. Trade, yes or no? This is basically the last thing that you guys can really do at this stage. Aside from just double checking future firsts, but if you're not going to trade this first, then you're definitely not going to trade any ones that could be the 03. So, what's it going to be? What is it going to be? To round out a night of nuclear options between both sides here. Between both sides. All right. This deal is going to go through at this point. It's one-sided enough. Your 04 first rounder and a second rounder in 03 for Jerome Moiso. That is basically the last thing that you can do. All those shits and giggles if you were to flip Moiso, which I'm sure you won't, but you could get an 05 pick from Cleveland. You could get Boston's unprotected 2003. You could get Boston's unprotected 03 first rounder. That might be worth it, even though you guys said we were never making it to 2003 because you were going to beat me by then. All of a sudden, you seem to be stocking up for 03. And it looks like chat's going to do that deal now. Fickle people. Fickle. Like the Pistons are offering an 02 that can become an 03, but all right. Isn't Boston great? I'm not sure. I don't think so. All right. I mean, judge him by it, man. It's a done deal. Moiso's heading to Boston for that 03 first. They do have Kobe and KG, but yes, do it. Listen to me. Yes, do it. Kobe and KG. Yeah, okay. Look at the roster first. I mean, people were saying yes, but I didn't officially throw it to a vote. Deal? Yes or no? Again, they have a good team. Might they end up being bad? Who's to say? But are you trading Moiso for a long shot, but ultimately potentially still a shot at somebody in the very, very good 2003 draft? That is the question. That is the question. Do you take that deal and shed another $2.5 million of salary for yet another dart in the 2003 draft, in which you already have 2 firsts? Technically, could be 3, depending on what happens with the Knicks in 02. Technically, you guys are basically just ending up on my strategy just a few years late. So this will be interesting. This deal's going through. Jerome Moiso being flipped to Boston for their unprotected 03 first. You wanted him, and then you flipped him. And that's basically it. That's basically it, chat. There's really, unless you give up at the 04 and the 05 first, there's probably nothing else you can do. So, shits and giggles will look, but that's pretty much all you can give up. There's a lottery-protected 03, so it's not really worth it. Top 5 03, and a 5th round, or 05 swap. Another swap, and DeMar Johnson, Oscar Sharp. 23rd overall pick this year. Edwards and Smith. 29th pick this year, and an 05 swap. Top 3 protected 2003 pick from Utah. Lottery protected 03 first rounder from Sacramento. Lottery protected 03 first rounder from the Lakers. Top 3 protected 03 first rounder from the Nuggets. Lottery protected 03 first from the Pistons. 02 first rounder, lottery protected from the Rockets. That theoretically could become an 03 unprotected. Austin Crozier, 03 lottery protected from Phoenix. So, are you keeping these two future picks? Are you keeping those two future picks, or do you want to try your hand at one more potential 03 first rounder? That is the question. I got to shout for the Rockets. I got to shout for keep. Going once on keep. All right. It's going to go to a vote. It's going to a vote. What's it going to be? Looks like keep will win out. Well, you're 04 and 05 first for the Rockets first in either 02 or 03. I mean, in theory, if you think you can win after as late as like after the 03 draft, it's in theory not the worst deal to take because what use do you have for an 04 05? But if you're trying to stock up through 02 and 03, the next two drafts, it's not the worst idea in the world to move those future picks, you know? It's not the worst idea. It could even be LeBron James. You never know. You never know. So, I mean, this would go along the lines of, hey, we think we can win in the next 2 to 3 years. You know? But I don't know if chat knows what exactly they're trying to do anymore. It could even be a boat. This deal is going to go through. Chat's 04 and 05 first rounders for Houston's 02 or 03 first round pick and Travis Knight. That is a done deal. The wheeling and dealing. Can you move Travis Knight? Yes, you can. From Milwaukee's 05 first. No reason not to do that. Or the Wizards. Somehow you can move this guy for an 05 first from a bunch of different teams. So, I mean, that's a no-brainer. 03 lottery protected from Sacramento and the Lakers. 05 unprotected from the Pistons. How the fuck can this guy fetch so much? Guy's going to lose his mind tomorrow night? Oh, yeah. So, would you rather go for an 05 first rounder or play your luck to try and get an 03 or an 04? Basically, do you want to somehow have a slight chance at an 03 or do you want to aim for an 04 or an 05? That's pretty much the question. There's no reason not to take this deal. You know? I mean, Major, they're doing a good job. What do you guys think? Take that, like, that Lakers deal is probably more reliable than the Sacramento deal. Or you just take, like, a first from the Pistons. I see yes, so you know what? Blame Hulk. We're going the 03. We're going the 03. Knight in a second. Another potential future, pick if the Lakers start to struggle. And that leaves you with two 2000 pick first rounders that could become first rounders in 03. And then the Lakers lottery protected pick in 03 could become an 04. And those second rounders is just future second rounders. So I think with that, unless chat wanted to move that Laker pick, I think chat's about done. I mean, even if you were to move the Laker pick, it would be for like an 05 first. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, yeah, an 02 first rounder, unprotected from the Knicks. I mean, yeah. I think with that, chat's about done, and we can finally get to the drafts. So at the end of it, chat, spec'd into the 02-03. Drafts coming up. Iverson still at point guard. Tony Delk, Eddie House. McGrady and Hubert Davis at shooting guard. Jim Jackson, Hawkins, Boyd, and Conley at forward. Donyell Marshall, David Vaughn, and Pat Garrity at power forward, and centers Chris Anderson and Jahidi White. So we go to the drafts, and the Spurs, first overall, take Pau Gasol. Welcome to the West, Pau Gasol. We have 25 trades to announce, all involving the Grizzlies. Portland at 2 takes Gilbert Arenas. And Dallas at 3, Richard Jefferson. Chicago at 4, Jason Richardson. And the Clippers at 5, Joe Johnson. So we will skip ahead to you guys on the clock in the second round. Let's see if anyone's left. Charlie Bell. Kenny Satterfield. Shooting guards. Not much. Donald Collins. Really nobody at forward. Power forward. Yeah, I mean, there's Michael Bradley. Jamario Moon. Oh, I mean, come on. You got to take Jamario Moon. Ooh, or Desanya Jop. Brendan Haywood. Lauren Woods. I mean, you got to take Jamario Moon, don't you? Jason Collins. You got to take Jamario Moon. He's a Raptors legend. Ruben Boomshay. Charlie Bell, real player. Take a flyer on Bell. All right, Charlie Bell it is for this one. And from there, another Grizzlies pick. You do get trade offers, but it's only for 1 second-round pick, and it's later in the draft, so you might as well just make this. And Bell and hope we get Moon with the other pick. There's an offer for Jop, Haywood. What do you think? Jop, Haywood, Jamario Moon? Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Haywood, I want Haywood. Cool. You'll get Haywood. If people bitch, you know who to bitch to. Brendan Haywood, there you go. And that is it for a bonkers 2001 draft that saw Tony Parker go to Phoenix. Zach Randolph's eyes are closed. Why are his eyes closed on picture day? Shane Battier to the Knicks. Gerald Wallace. Tyson Chandler's a Laker. So chat has that guy sold drugs to my dad in the 70s. There goes Kwame Brown. Brian Scalabrine. Well, a wild draft, to say the least. To say the least, Chad ends up with Charlie Bell and Brendan Haywood. I had no picks. And of course, chat has used their nuke. And we'll see what happens. You still have McGrady and Iverson. You do have better depth, knowing that you have a free agent signing coming. But things are still looking a little bit okay for me, too. This is going to be interesting. And now we both have picks in the 2003 draft. I mean, we were both able to safety net ourselves for future drafts while still trying to be good.